Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. My name is Matt Sharp, M-A-T-T-S-H-A-R-P, and I serve as Senior Counsel with Alliance Defending Freedom. In the 1930s, in a despicable practice known as redlining, financial institutions created maps with certain neighborhoods marked in red. Lenders viewed residents of these neighborhoods as hazardous or too risky and would not issue them home loans. But as we know, such redlining was not based on financial risk. It was based on racial discrimination against predominantly black neighborhoods. Today, we are witnessing a growing threat of modern-day redlining. What banks now label as a reputational risk is just a cover for discrimination against businesses, against consumers, because they're in the firearm or energy industry, or because of their religious beliefs or political views. No one should fear losing a bank account, a credit card, or access to essential financial services because of their free speech, because of their support of Second Amendment rights, or because of their opposition to DEI policies. Unfortunately, large financial institutions are canceling religious, political, and conservative groups, claiming they present reputational risk, or even simply refusing to provide a reason for why their account was shut down. So for example, last year, Bank of America closed the long-standing bank account of our client, Indigenous Advanced Ministries, a Tennessee-based Christian nonprofit that helps impoverished widows and orphans in Uganda. The bank closed the account of a local church that donates to that ministry as well. Bank of America claimed it no longer wanted to serve their business type and that Indigenous Advance exceeded the bank's risk tolerance. There we see that word again. This cancellation happened right before a mission trip to Africa, causing irreparable damage to Indigenous Advance. It couldn't pay its poverty-stricken Ugandan workers for several weeks, people that live literally paycheck to paycheck. It had to reduce its aid to many of its ministry partners who serve widows and orphans in that country. Last year, we learned that several Indiana-based firearm companies were debanked by major banks and credit processors with no notice or explanation. The same happened just next door to the Idaho Constitution Party. And former Senator and U.S. Ambassador Sam Brownback was told by Chase Bank that he had to disclose confidential information about donors to his nonprofit if he wished to reopen that account that was unexpectedly terminated by the bank. SB 240 simply says that banks with $100 billion in assets should not discriminate against Montana businesses and consumers because of their speech, their opposition to DEI, their involvement in Second Amendment or firearm industry. So this means a bank couldn't shut down, for example, a pregnancy center's account because of its pro-life speech, or a credit card company couldn't cancel the account of a gun store because it sells firearms. And to help ensure transparency and accountability of big banks, the bill requires banks to provide a written explanation, if requested by the consumer, when their account is closed. Otherwise, the banks can hide their discrimination through silence, by refusing to respond when a consumer is harmed by actions. We just want consumers to be able to understand what's happening. Montana businesses and consumers need protection against the growing risk of debanking. Hardworking individuals should never worry that one day they will wake up to find that their card is declined because a large bank disagrees with their views or opinions. SB 240 signals to local businesses and consumers that the legislature is standing with them, who built Montana into the thriving state it is today, rather than with the massive financial institutions pushing a woke agenda. Thank you.